Okay, next up, we're going to discuss leukopoiesis. So let's start with this. Okay. Leukopoiesis. Leukopoiesis stands for the production and formation of leukocytes or white blood cells. Now let's just, before I go back to the other picture, let's just go through the basics of this first so you can just get an overview of what happens. As with erythrocytes and platelets, all of the formed elements originate from the common cell, the hemocytoblast. So let me look at this. Okay, so that is your common stem cell in which all the formed elements originate. This can go through the myeloid line, or it can go lymphoid line, and at this point we can get the myeloid stem cell, and the lymphoid stem. Okay, so that's a lymphoid stem cell. And the myeloid line can take one of a few different paths. You can go to the RBCs, red blood cells or erythrocytes. You can go to platelets, or also known as thrombocytes. And we can do granulocytes and monocytes. Let me move this over so we can see a little bit more. And the lymphoid stem cell line takes you to lymphocytes, of which there are two flavors. There's going to be B cells and T cells. This is what we're basically looking at on your two different things. So as you can see, most of the myeloid line produces most of this stuff. Let me do this in a different color here. All of these, okay, those are white blood cells. Okay, so we can see we actually have lymphocytes, which is a type. We have granulocytes, in which there are going to be 3 of those. So you can see we have 3, 4, and 5 different types of white blood cells. B and T cells, it's a lymphocyte. So I can see how you can count those differently. But we have 3 different granulocytes. We have lymphocytes and monocytes on those. So let's go back and look at where all this is originating from. So let me go back up here and see where they come from. So this is our picture that we saw previously on here. And in this case, we are looking at the differences between the myeloid line and the lymphoid line. So if you can look at this background color here, okay, versus this color on this one, the background color is more of the tan in this area. All of the tan, so we're following that area, comes from the lymphoid line, okay? And it's this area that comes from the lymphoid line, okay? So part of the myeloid line, or the myeloid stem cell, we have the erythrocytes, we have the platelets, and then we're going to have our granulocytes, and then we are also going to have a monocyte, okay? The lymphoid line, we are going to have your B cells and T cells. There's also something called natural killer cells. That'll be discussed more in immunity on that one. So what we're looking at on this one is, in I think a couple more videos from here, we are going to discuss more of the specifics on the different types of white blood cells, the differences in the granulocytes and agranulocytes, what they look at, what their function is for each one of those. And I think that covers what we want to do for this one. So know which line, myeloid or lymphoid, the different end product, whether that's the erythrocyte, platelets, granulocytes, monocytes, or lymphocytes, know where they come from, what stem cell they originate from on that one. With that being said, I think the next thing up that we are going to do, we're going to go a little bit more into discussing the erythrocyte and hemoglobin associated with that one. So stay tuned.